welcome to episode 093 of the Bit Beacon broadcast. It's August 11th, 2025. I'm Kodax, and I'll be your host through this week's episode. So, what are we buying? I did get a new game show up this past week, and this game is called No Sleep for Kaname Date from the Somnium Files, published and developed by Spike Chunsoft in collaboration with some outside people as well who no longer work at Spike Chunsoft but still make games for them. This game is the third game in the the Somnium Files series, and it's set between the first and the second game, which are the only two other games available at the time. Character designs are by Yusuke Kozaki, who's known for Fire Emblem and Pokemon Go. And I purchased a special bundle available exclusively on the Spike Chunsoft online shop. So it comes with the game, which I got for Nintendo Switch, not Nintendo Switch 2, because the Nintendo Switch 2 version is a game key card. Boo, we don't like that. It came with a silly little sticker of one of the characters in the game, Mizuki, and she does this weird, awkward thumbs up, and so it's kind of become like a meme. So they're, kind of capitalizing on that and including a fun sticker. And then lastly, it comes with a CD soundtrack. And this is like I haven't opened it, it's shrink wrapped, but it also has art by Yusuke Kozaki on the cover. And this art was made exclusively for this soundtrack release. And I gotta say, it is the most hyper-realistic version of Kozaki I have ever seen him do before. Like, the artwork is super striking, kind of freaky, unsettling, a little disturbing, kind of grotesque, just the way it is. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's really kind of giving me the creeps, but in like the best way possible. It features one of the I don't want to say main characters, but one of the important characters from the series, Iris. I'm almost certain it's been a while since I played the first Somnium Files game. Definitely disappointing to see Spike Chunsoft go the game key card route. I understand why they're doing it. The regular game cartridges are quite expensive, but I mean, they're a niche publisher making niche games, and people that buy their games want to buy physical games, and game key cards are not really a physical game. So it's a disappointment to see them join the ranks of the publishers publishing games in that format. Okay, so I have finally started playing Donkey Kong Bananza, the new Donkey Kong game created by the team behind many of the 3D Mario games, such as Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario 3D World and Mario Odyssey. And I'm only 4 or maybe 5 hours into the game, but I'm having a total blast. Donkey Kong has teamed up with a young Pauline, and they are digging down into the various layers of the planet they inhabit. I don't know if it has a name. Where they discover different layers, which each house their own large open environment to explore and find secrets in, while helping the local denizens with their problems, which further enables Donkey Kong and Pauline to go deeper and deeper towards the planet's core. So far, I've gone through 3 of the layers if you count the starting zone, and have only encountered 1 boss level enemy. I'm not totally clear on the story of the game beyond needing to get to the core of the planet so that Pauline can have her wish granted to go home. There are clearly some villainous characters, but I don't really know their motivations quite yet. They've just kind of sort of been lurking on from afar, laughing, maniacally or whatever. But I'm excited to see more of them as the game progresses. The subtitle Bananza is more than just a clever play on words. It's also the name of an important ability that Donkey Kong unlocks that allows him to power up into a large, powered-up version of himself based on some ancient Kongian deity. This ability is a lot of fun, and it can be triggered frequently, and it allows you to destroy through tons of terrain and wreck enemies that are normally more challenging to defeat. I haven't seen them yet, but I understand that there are additional Bananza forms and abilities that you can take on as you progress the game. So far, I've just unlocked the first one, which just really makes you a giant powered-up, Donkey Kong, effectively. But some of the other power-ups I've seen, I think, are like an elephant or something to that effect. Notice there's kind of a weird thing. Mario got that elephant transformation. Now Donkey Kong's got an elephant transformation. Don't know if they're hinting at something. Maybe a new a new Nintendo character that's an elephant. We'll see. I'm also really enjoying the music of the game too. There are a lot of musical homages to the Donkey Kong Country games, while also adding a lot of great original music as well. In fact, I'm truly super impressed by how much Nintendo is honoring the Donkey Kong Country games. I won't spoil all the fun, but Bonanza clearly respects the legacy of those games with lots of Easter eggs, references, and even special retro themed levels. It would have been easy for them to ignore all of UK studio Rare's previous Donkey Kong Country games and for the Japanese team to claim that Bonanza was its own thing. But instead, they lean into the rich history of Donkey Kong Country and make Bonanza an extension of the Country series. Bonanza is a real joy so far, and I look forward to continuing my playthrough of the game. This past weekend, I attended the Naughty Dog 40th Anniversary Exhibition opening reception at Gallery Nucleus. While it was nothing quite like the 30th anniversary event from back in 2014, it was still pretty special for one big reason, which I'll get to in a moment. At 1 p.m., we were allowed into the gallery shop to view different art that was turned into prints from various guest artists. I picked up 2 of the fancy, high-quality prints, and a smaller one with the 40th anniversary logo on it with space for guests to sign. At 1:30, we were allowed into the gallery itself, where we queued up to meet the guests. Around us, as we waited in the queue, were the many original pieces of artwork that the nearly 3 dozen tribute artists created. Keep in mind, these artworks are not just like fan art. These are officially licensed and commissioned by Gallery Nucleus and Naughty Dog. 5 guests waited for us at the table, including art director Tate Mosesian? I'm sorry, I'm going to mess up some of these people's names. Art director Sebastian Grauman, principal game designer Emilia Schatz, director of foreground art Christopher Desi, and last but certainly not least, studio co-founder Andy Gavin. Having Andy there was a really big deal to me. Andy Gavin and fellow co-founder Jason Rubin left Naughty Dog way back in 2004. So to have Andy here as a co-founder was a real treat. Andy worked on, he was the lead programmer, I should say, on all the Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter games before they left, while Jason was director on all of those titles. It's my hope that when the second signing event happens on the 23rd of August, that Jason Rubin will be there. Hopefully it doesn't just end up being wishful thinking on my part, though. After the signing, I explored the upstairs area where there was a timeline display of almost all of Naughty Dog's games, framed in order of release date. Also displayed were some original sketches of their earliest logo, which were awesome to see. In the center of that room, they also had 3 different photo opportunities, one for Jak and Daxter, one for The Last of Us, and one for Uncharted, with large standees and kind of a themed backdrop. And that was really the event. I had a nice time catching up with some friends, and obviously getting to meet those Naughty Dogs. And I'm looking forward to the second event in a couple weeks. It will be a mystery as to which developers will be there in attendance until then, but I really do hope Jason is there. Please, guys, keep your fingers crossed for me. I want to meet Jason. So later this week, I am headed to the Pokemon World Championships 2025 in Anaheim, California. There's been a lot of kind of news dropping, details about what's going to be going on at the show this year. For example, this morning I had to make my reservation so I could be amongst the first people in the world to play Pokemon Legends ZA for Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. I'm hoping they have the Nintendo Switch 2 version playable because that's the version I'll be playing later this year. So yeah, this is the first time that game is going to be playable anywhere on the planet with the public. Next week, I believe it's going to be over at Gamescom in Germany playable as well. But kind of cool that I get first dibs on it by attending the Pokemon World Championships. So I got my reservation for 1 p.m. on Friday. This afternoon, they sent out emails letting people know if they were selected to purchase any of the special items at the Pokemon Center store that you had to enter a lottery for. Unfortunately, I ended up, I did win the opportunity. I won the opportunity to purchase a TCG Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box, which is cool. But there were definitely some other things that I was looking forward to having the opportunity to get instead. But we'll have to see, if well, honestly, it doesn't look like I'm getting into them. There was a cool skateboard, there was some jukebox, there was a special statue, but those are probably going to be really expensive anyway, so I probably wasn't going to be able to afford it. But there will be plenty of other merchandise for me to buy while I'm there, so I shouldn't be too sad. But yeah, Thursday I pick up my badge. Friday morning we kick things off with the opening ceremony. Then there's all the events going on. There's some signing opportunities to meet some of the Pokemon trading card game artists, Pokemon Go artists, and the president of the Pokemon Company, Ishihara-san. So I'm hoping I get into at least one of those autograph sessions. That would, kind of be really, really cool because you get a very special poster at these sessions. So, keep your fingers crossed for me. I really, really would love to get in. If not, though, I'm sure I'll still have a great weekend and I'll be talking all about it on next week's episode. It's no secret that I'm an active player and fan of Genshin Impact, but some big news dropped last week regarding the future of the game on PlayStation. Soon, Genshin Impact will no longer be playable on PlayStation 4. This retirement of the game on PS4 will come in a few waves. First, on September 9th, the game will no longer be found on the PlayStation 4 PlayStation Store. If you already have the game added to your collection, you'll be able to re-download it and continue playing it if needed. Then, on February 24th, 2026, players on PS4 will no longer be able to make in-game purchases, but they can continue to play the game. Finally, on April 7th, 2026, support for Genshin Impact on PlayStation 4 will cease, and players will no longer be able to access the game or log into the game on that platform as it will have stopped receiving updates. So the most they'll be able to do, I think, is launch the game, but then it'll just sit at the home screen and probably throw up an error message saying, thanks for playing. It's no longer supported on this platform. So what options do existing PS4 players have? Well, they can link their account to a Hoyoverse account and then log in on any other supported platform to continue playing the game. Or, they can buy a PS5 and continue playing there. Sadly, for a lot of PS4 players, especially those in poorer countries, the PS4 was really the only way that they could access the game. It's likely that many of these players were free to play, and Hoyoverse weighed the option of keeping the platform around or cutting it loose, and decided it would be better for the health of the game if the platform was no longer supported. So why is the game being dropped from being an officially supported platform? Hoyoverse specifically states it's due to limitations related to hardware performance and platform application size. Honestly, it makes sense. The PS4 is nearly 14 years old, and it's incredible that they have kept the game running on the platform this long, but it is still likely disappointing for so many players around the world. Hopefully, by dropping support for the platform, it can allow the developers to incorporate new features and technologies not possible prior due to hardware limitations. And they're giving an 8-month notice to players around the world on PS4, so hopefully many of these players that still enjoy playing the game can find an alternate way to access them, continue accessing the game. But yeah, no doubt, it's a bummer. And this is really the first reminder for Genshin Impact that these types of games are not permanent and are not likely to be supported everywhere forever. When you play an online locked game where you need a persistent internet connection, it just really reinforces that this is not permanent, and be prepared for it to go away one day. End transmission.